Ugandans are contracting HIV for fun. Now, remember, the prevalence is just continuing to escalate, and especially Mbarara now is topping the new HIV/AIDS infection rate at 1,000, something like 879 cases. New cases, Mbarara, man, that is really a threat. And according to doctors, they're saying that Ugandans are contracting these HIV/AIDS for fun. Now, remember, these infections are between age 15 and 25 and between women. But the reason for this surge in these cases, new infections, HIV/AIDS infection in Mbarara, say that is attributed to cross-generational sex between the older men and the young girls. So something must be done. I think cultural leaders, religious leaders, doctors, political leaders, media, but we have to get on board and find some lasting solutions. So that is Daily Monitor for you there with those stories. But again, remember, this happens to be the 4th week into the Uganda Science Week, which is simmering and bubbling, buzzing at the Kololo Independence Grounds there. The Minister for Science and Technology there, Honorable Dr. Monica Musenero, is there, and there's a lot of exhibition. And yesterday we discovered that herbalists also had an opportunity to exhibit. Recently, government had to, to construct something they call a natural chemotherapeutic, trainings and classes for herbalists in order to shun and escort what we call masqueraders, who are purporting to be healers, yet they are not, or to be working around the clock to help in the mental health or to help in the fighting of many outcoming and outbreaking diseases. So they're like, we can't do this. So herbal is also being incorporated, and a lot is happening in Colorado. There's exhibition in technology, in science, in a lot of everything. And I think that's where Dr. Musenero also broke the news, that Uganda is manufacturing what we call Pombegard, one of these, and hangover medications. So for those people who are excess drinkers and daily drinking officers, you are sorted, and I think this is going to work. So what awaits would be investors to come and put in more money. Before we know it, it is just covering all our markets. So that's what is happening in the Daily Monitor, some of this. So just grab your copy of this Daily Monitor and you'll be enjoying it. Now, in our top stories, our first stories, I want to begin that President Museveni is calling upon sportsmen or sportswomen to eschew alcohol and prostitution. Now, this was while he had hosted them for a banquet at the State House. Now, he hosted a delegation of sportsmen and sportswomen from USSSA and Uganda athletic team. Now, President Museveni also echoed the known values of sportsmen as teamwork, mutual respect, brilliance, and discipline. And I think these are some of the things he has exhibited over the time. So you see that he further warned against drinking alcohol, prostitution, and fighting among each other. And he called for discipline among sportsmen. Now, these were many of the guys who were under this umbrella. And he also underlined the essence of sports, ranging from physical fitness, enhancement, character building, but also cooperation, teamwork, and also income source and entertainment to the masses. Income source is very important, because most of the athletes, by the time they're done with their careers, they are struggling financially, and it's like you wouldn't be like that. So there has to be a lot of orientation as far as financial discipline is concerned among sportsmen and sports women that sat on that day. So he said them, we'll talk about USSSA, we're talking about the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association. So that association that brings all secondary schools. So those are the people that President Museveni met, and he had a one-on-one with them. But of course, he was with his wonderful wife, Miss Janet Museveni, the sports minister, Minister for Education there, and they talked a lot, and that's how it was. Those are the guys there at State House, guys from what we called the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association. there. Now, away from that, there's something that is happening in the South District of Uganda. That is Jinja. Now, the Nyege thing is on. But recently, in, could be, if I remember well, in May, when President Museveni assented to the anti-homosexuality bill there. So, and this, of course, raised a lot of fear from the West, saying that Uganda is trampling on the human rights. So many revelers are taking it to the south of Uganda of Lake Victoria, that is in Jinja, where there is a Nyege festival, which is ready now to really go on. Now, the Department of Foreign Affairs has advised against non-essential travel to Jinja. Now, we're talking about Irish citizens warned to avoid Uganda Music Festival. Irish citizens have been warned to disdain, to refrain, to get away, to eschew Uganda Music Festival known as Nyege. Now, of course, this is really worrying because they are continuing to tell people and that you should stay away. Now, of course, the warnings from the Ireland and the UK and the United States follow several deadly attacks on the Uganda blamed on a militia allied with the Islamic State and, of course, group based in the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. However, Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni has sought to ensure citizens and visitors not to fear anything but come and visit the country, he said. Now, Ireland is one of the least 3 Western governments who have warned their citizens to stay away from the major music festival in Uganda over fear that it may be target of an attack. Now, many Ugandans associate with the festival with social and, I'm telling you, this is really amazing. Now, let me begin like this. Now, this Nyege thing was established in 2015. Now, the Jinja Festival has also often quoted controversy with many political and religious leaders condemning it as immoral and calling it to be burned. But guess what? Nyege means the irresistible urge to dance in the local Luganda language. But it can also have a sexual connotation in other languages in the religion. Now, many Ugandans associate the festival with social and sexual liberalization, including LGBT lifestyle, and it is also viewed as a suspicion in the deeply conservative. So that's what is happening, and they are telling guys, do not go there. They are continuing, many African countries, East African, Western African countries are continuing to tell them, please stay away, stay away, stay away, stay away from that. Now, Nyege, of course, and is what's happening in Jinja there. Now, Uganda is at the edge after a series of attacks by the suspected, people. Not only they refrain them from going to Nyege, but even other worship places, other big music, things like that. They're telling them to please avoid large gatherings, including large-scale worship and music and culture festive in Uganda. Now, that is the Western governments calling upon their people now. Ireland, Ireland happens to be the third after UK, after US. They told them, please, if you must go, please stay away from there. Now, my goodness, now, what are they saying? What are they saying now? What are they saying? Okay, what are they saying? Isn't this really tainting a bad image of Uganda? And man, we are going to be losing on so many people who are coming in for holidays, and they normally fly back during Christmas seasons and everything to enjoy. But now when you hear these warnings, it means it's bad. So I think for us here, we've not had police calling upon, maybe warning people to be careful, to be watchful, to be vigilant, because anything could happen. But remember, Uganda recently, before the attack on Bihar, the UK government had issued terror alerts, warning that, hey guys, we are seeing an attack coming, but we don't know where and when, but be on high alert. Before you know it, over 30 children lives were claimed in that attack by the ADF, and schools were burnt and many things. But before we know it, recently in Queen Elizabeth, 2 tourists and the driver died under an attack by some assailants. They killed them, shot them, but thanks be to government, they say that they arrested them and these guys are going to face the law. That's what's happening. Maybe my last will be in the Eco Green Wall in is a good example. Now something's happening as cities develop. Of course, spaces for plantation, for agriculture, they also shrink because they're developing, they're expanding. Now, the Eco Green Wall is an example of a sustainable living wall system. Producer can give me those pictures and you see, so people are planting plants literally on walls. Bazimba kubisenge, and before you know it, that's where everything's happening now. Growing African vegetables on buildings can save space and feed cities. Remember, a new study published there is revealing that now University of Pretoria, as cities grow, more people need food. However, space for farming is limited in cities. As you can see there now, building facades can offer a solution to growing food. Building facades can offer a solution to growing food. We asked landscape architect Karen Botis to tell us how it happens, and they said a lot. If you go to countries like Netherlands, this is what they do. They build at the top of the buildings. They don't waste spaces. Every top of the buildings in Netherlands, you'll find food there. You'll find gardens on top of the buildings, big gardens. Now, what are living wall system? Because someone may ask, but what a living wall system and why did you something like that? Of course, we'll be talking more of that, but that's one of the things that's happening. But you plant on walls at the top of the buildings, and before you know it, everything is doing pretty well. Anyhow, time's up. I must say, I'm out of here, and that's what I had with our top stories. We'll be right back with Health Eating.